Long ago, in a quiet village beside a dark canal called Phra Khanong, there lived a young couple deeply in love. The husband's name was Mac, and his beautiful wife was named Nak. They were known in the village as the happiest couple anyone had ever seen. They laughed together, worked together, dreamed about their future together. And soon, Nak was expecting their first child. But fate had other plans. One day, soldiers arrived in the village. Mac was forced to leave his home and go to war. Nak begged him not to go. She held his hands tightly and cried, "Please come back to me and to our child." Mac promised her he would return. Then he walked away, disappearing down the dusty road. Nak stood there watching him until he was no longer in sight. She waited and waited and waited. Then the rain came down hard. Months passed. One night, during a violent storm, Nak suddenly went into labor. The rain poured heavily, the wind howled through the trees, but there was no doctor, no midwife, and no one came to help her. Alone in the darkness, Nak screamed in pain for hours, until finally everything went silent. By morning, Nak and her baby were dead. The villagers buried them quietly near the temple, and life in the village slowly returned to normal. But they had no idea the nightmare had only just begun. Months later, Mac finally returned from war, weak, wounded, but alive. When he arrived home, he saw something that filled him with joy. Inside the house was Nak, and in her arms was their baby. Mac was overwhelmed with happiness. He hugged her tightly. He believed everything was normal. He believed his family had been waiting for him the entire time. But the villagers were terrified because they knew the truth. Nak had died months ago. The villagers tried to warn Mac, but every person who tried to tell him the truth mysteriously disappeared. Some were found dead, others were never seen again. Soon, the village became silent. No one dared to go near Mac's house because everyone believed Nak had become a ghost. One night, Mac sat inside the house watching Nak cook. The baby was sleeping nearby. Suddenly, Nak dropped a lime through a crack in the wooden floor. It fell beneath the house. Mac watched quietly. Instead of walking outside to pick it up, Nak simply sat still. Then, slowly, her arm stretched, longer and longer and longer, sliding through the floorboards until her hand reached the ground below. She grabbed the lime, and her arm slowly returned to normal. Mac froze. His heart stopped because he finally understood the truth. The woman he loved was no longer human. She was a ghost. Mac jumped to his feet and ran. He ran out of the house. He ran through the dark forest. He ran toward the only safe place he could think of, the temple. Behind him, he heard Nak screaming his name. Her voice echoed through the night. "Mac, don't leave me. I love you." Her cries grew closer, closer, closer. Mac reached the temple gates just in time. He collapsed inside the sacred grounds, and Nak stopped, standing just outside the entrance. She could not cross the holy boundary. She cried and cried and cried, calling his name. The monks inside the temple knew what had happened. They chanted powerful prayers, and with sacred rituals, they captured Nak's spirit and sealed it inside a clay jar. But some villagers say her spirit was never truly gone. Even today, people living near the canal say strange things still happen. Some claim they see a woman holding a baby, standing in the mist beside the water. Others hear soft crying in the middle of the night. And sometimes, when the wind blows through the trees, you can hear a whisper, calling for someone, a single name. Mac. Because even after death, some love never lets go.